And so, the overall rate of your play increases, so now you can focus more and more and more as your ball handling improves towards your offense and the hitting side of the game. Again, once you get to the advanced level, right, your side out rates are high enough, you got good ball control, you can really start focusing in on the attacking part and have targets like, 12 plus kills per game, trying to target about 40% kill rate. These become really, really important metrics to track to see if you're getting to that, because once you get to those kinds of numbers, you're going to see your win rate improve. Okay, so now I'm going to do like a series of demos with the different products that I have, and hopefully I can do this without sharing the system down. How many of you are using SoloStats right now? Wow, could be a waste of demo. Okay, let me see that. All right, so for those of you who aren't familiar with this, you can see the score up in the upper left part. The blue score is yours, the pink score is theirs. The blue are your players. The gray keys are the in-rally touches that don't terminate the rally, and the colored keys are the ones that do. The green ones are the nice ones. Those are the ones that give you points. Those are the earned ones. Okay. The orange ones are errors, and the red ones are false. Okay. So the way you enter your data is basically player, and then action, and you can double tap the second key as a shortcut to enter the value. Okay? So it's very, very simple. And the bulk of the time is really getting familiar with where the buttons are, but the process is always consistent. Okay? Now, there's a few tricks people ask us on, how do you do an assist? Well, if the setter didn't set the ball, in the beginning of setup, you say who the setter is going to be. If that person didn't set the ball, then you notice the assist button at the bottom of the green area lights up. You press the assist, and you can assign it to somebody like to Julie. Or, let's say it was an overpass. Right, so you can assign it to their player so that you don't overcount assists on your side of the court. Right, the same process involves for blocking. Let's say Julie makes a block, and then we get an assist with Jan. Okay, so that's the only sort of secondary key entry that you do with the system. Otherwise, it's pretty much player action, right? In the system, you can track as much or as little as you want. This was designed because I had to coach alone a lot, so you can just do end of rally statistics, or you can do all the touches. Okay, so in this case, we have what's called fast rally buttons in here. If I hit the button next to Sally for dig, I just tap that, she lights up, and it's ready to go. Okay, so you can keep track of all that. And then as you go along, you can just push the screen up to see the stats by person, right? You can see your percentages by rotation. And then at the bottom, it's what we call a point tree, which was the little exercise we did at the beginning, right? How are you winning and losing points? I like to look at this a lot, because sometimes you play a game and you say, wow, we didn't play that great. What happened? Well, we still won. And you look and you say, wow, I had 12 hitting errors by our opponent and 4 service errors, right? Gave us a lot of points. So that was the margin, okay? So it's a quick way that you can do that analysis. Now, once you have your data here, then you can close this. And I can press the button up here. It says, there's 2 buttons up there. One says backup data, and once you have an internet connection, you can back up your data from here to our server, and then you'll press the web reports button, and you will see reports from our server side. Now, the reason we do that is twofold. One, protecting your data is really important to us, because you won't believe how many emails I get per month of people with destroyed iPads or you name it. Okay, it's kind of sad. I feel very bad when I get one of those. Good news is, at least your data is safe. Okay, but your record in your various games you've played have gone. So, okay, so now we'll go over to computer, and we'll go to web reports. All right, so this is what web reports looks like, and I have my high school team selected. I click matches, and here are all the matches that we played. Now you can look at any component of this. So I can look at like a single match. I'll turn this off and just look at this one, or I'm going to just look at the whole thing for now. Okay. The first tab I go to is player ranking, and player ranking provides rankings by each skill set. So as we scroll up here, you'll see this is for serving, right, receive, and so forth. And the nice thing is that every column is sortable, so you can get that to whatever the key one that you want. So for example, I want to look at it sorted by actual raw kills, okay? Or I want to look at it by hitting efficiency, right? So whatever it is you want to use as your primary way of ranking a player, you can do it here. This table is really, really important because if the players on the court aren't ranking high in each of these categories, you have to think twice about it. Do you have the right person on the court? And this is where the stats will really help you out. I think the most important single area is on receive, right? Because with service receive, you just won't have that many good passers. I mean, if you have more than 2, you're lucky, okay? Because the drop-off from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5 is a cliff, okay? So if you stat that carefully, you'll see that it's a dramatic increase in one key thing, error rates, right? The next one, which is really powerful, is the Analyze tab. And here you'll see serve, and then below that are receive. You can scan through here and see the different point scoring rates. And you notice that rotation 3 has a 41% rate, which is low. If I click on that, it expands out, and it allows me to see exactly what happened. So I can go and track through in here and say, is it a serving problem, right? Or is it attack errors? Or is it something else? In this case, it looks like it's digging. Right, we have 25 dig errors by Jesse, and it turns out Jesse is the serving middle blocker. Okay, so visualize. Tall person playing defense. Okay, so we'll go back to this story in a second as we do video, so you'll actually be able to see her in action. Okay. All right. So from there are summary, tables that provides, just a big pile of information for you, right, by player. And again, it's all sortable. And we have it, by game as well. Because I have everything clicked right now, you're going to see just a pile of games here. And we have a whole bunch of other reports under other reports. There's about 19 reports built into this. And if you send me requests about reports that you want to see, typically if there's enough requests, I will build it and we'll post it up here. And the beauty of having it on a website is it comes up instantaneously. So we're literally putting up new releases. We'll have a new release of this product in probably the next couple of days. We're calling it Web Reports Pro, that has a few things for colleges that have been requested. And one of them is complete customization of the columns. You can choose whatever columns you want. Okay? All right, so now, once we've done this, now we're looking at this Jessie problem in rotation 3, and the question is, what is she really doing, right? Numbers are nice, but they don't tell you the whole story. All right, so now we're going to jump over to the next product, which is, I think, some of the most fun. And so this is our SoloStats video product. And let me actually go over to which side? Okay, so what you do with your videos is you put your camera at the end line, put it on tripod, turn it on, let it run for the entire set, then turn it off. Once you've shot your match or your tournament, open a YouTube account and upload the videos to YouTube. I do it overnight so it's ready to go for the next morning. And so once you have it there, then you'll go to that particular video, match with the stats for that particular set. This is for one of our last rounds of our championship. And here's the URL. Okay? I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go over to SoloStats video to set up. It's busy playing here. Oh, okay. Let me clear this out. Sorry. Okay. So now I will click the video button, paste in the URL, and go to, let's start at the beginning of the match here. Right there. And now what will happen is the video will set up, and there's this whole big opening ceremony going on here. There's lots of handshaking and good stuff, so I'm going to try to advance past it. I think it's about 5 minutes into the video, the actual game starts. So right about 5 minutes. And then we'll play it here. And what we're looking for is Francesca with an in-rally dig. Francesca's a libero here, okay? And so as soon as we find that, we will pause the video and then synchronize from there. So here we go. Right, there is the touch, so we'll stop it there. And then all we do is press sync, and you notice this was 0, now it's at 5:13, and every single point after that is timestamped. The reason is, when you put in your entries in SoloStat, every single entry has an actual real-time timestamp. So now that we synchronize the video world to the stat world, it's all there. Now the fun part starts here. After you've done this with a few sets and matches, you've got a nice library, and I happen to have most of my last season. I go to the filter tab, and you can actually look for any combination of players in action. In this case, we were looking at Jesse, who in rotation 3 was having some dig errors, right? So whatever combination you want to look at, just happens to be this one. So we go to results, and it does a database query. We have 25 instances of this. And let's just look at this particular one in this match. This is against MA. So Jesse's standing over here. Here comes the hit. There's miss. Okay? So now what you can do is, after you look at a whole bunch of these, figure out, is this just a random occurrence, or is there something more sort of systematic, pattern happening? Okay, in her case, she tended to miss short balls a lot. Hard hits she was pretty good at, actually. And so that's what we worked on with her. Instead of taking the whole team through, right, rotation 3, serving, we're just isolating her and fixing exactly what we need to there. Again, efficient, effective use of our time, right? So we're not spending the whole team's time to improve one rotation, okay? Through video, you can isolate the errors, literally see the stats. And if you track down your errors, you can find the ones that are the easy pickings ones, the ones where, oh, she just needs to move up 2 feet, and you just work on that. It's not a skill improvement, okay? Positional stuff is really easy to do. It's just got to sit on players to do that, yes?
You went pretty fast.
Uh-huh.
This sounds really amazing. I haven't tried the video part.
Sure.
I'm trying to get my head around how it automatically syncs to each of the stats.
When you enter the stats in here, okay, there's a thing called a point log. So every single entry has a timestamp in it. So all we're trying to do, yes, it already has a timestamp. So it says that the 5th point was put in about 5 minutes after the first point. Yeah, so that's the way, that's the way Data Volley and all these other products work. There's a real-time timestamp, and we're basically synchronizing those two things. Then the two worlds match. Yes.
So when you do the video of this kid digging, is there a way that you can export it onto like a DVD or like a flash drive? Hey, this is what you look like.
Yeah, so you don't need to do that because you just send the URL to them, have them look. That's why it's on YouTube. Because two things, okay? I'm cheap. I don't want to have a terabyte of disk space, which I've done that in the past, with my video sitting there, and nobody else is going to see that. Right? I'm not the library archivist, okay? I like to share. So everything goes up to YouTube. And so I will actually send URLs for the entire match that they can see. And then, in addition, by sending them the SoloStats video tool, they can search into their part and look at it. Unfortunately, when you tell them to look at errors, they're usually looking at kills. Because they hate looking at the bad stuff, right? So you got to kind of work on it, yes.
So you are the in between each set, you turn the camera off and turn it back on, but you leave it on from there.
Well, it's preferable to be on your side because you can see it better. When the team's on the other side, the court, you can hardly see anything. So I take the camera, I have a assigned parent that takes it because I'm too busy. Right, so they take it to the other side and then let it run. Yeah, but none of this start-stop stuff. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can turn it off, because we don't want to see the ceiling, right?
And does it use the actual time or
Well, what we're doing is we're synchronizing the two realities, right? So by doing that first sync point, then everything lines up at that point. And from that point on, everything's in their own real time. Right, because the actions actually happen in time. When you put your stat in, it's always about a couple seconds after it happens. So we do that shift for you automatically. Yes.
So what happens if you've got a big rally going that's fast and you get behind?
Yes.
Yes. Catch up.
Yes. Yeah. So the good thing is that in the setup section, you are able to actually handle drift. So you can actually resynchronize from any point in here. In fact, you could literally manually sync every single point if you wanted to. But my whole deal with all of these products is about, lots of part-time coaches. We don't have time. We want answers, not work. Right? So we want to make the synchronization stuff as efficient as possible. And so, I don't want you paying a lot of money if you don't have to. I want you to use whatever services is available. YouTube's the best video thing on earth. Right? Google has more data space than anybody else on earth, and they also own fiber optic networks. They're going to get it to you as fast as they can. Okay, so there's no reason not to use them, and it's free.
And we can set up private channels.
Yeah, what you do is when you upload, you set it to unlisted, not private. Private won't work because it needs a password to get in. So when you set it to unlisted, you need the URL, so it won't bleed out, unless somebody team is like handing out URLs or something. Okay, so that's like self-inflicted problems. Yeah.
This would be really wonderful for having our kids on the road, like be able to click on their name, and, get them in there, and then the night before our match, they're watching everything that we've gone over, that errors to point score and things like that. Do you recommend that, or do you recommend that as like a coaching session, or for college kids, Are they gonna get out of it what they need to on their own?
You have to decide, it's every team and every player, right? Everybody's a little bit different. But I think that's great. I mean, self-coaching is the fastest way to get better, right?
Yeah.
And video is the best way to see yourself. So the cool thing about this is anybody who's really inquisitive is going to look at all the bad stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sit there and say, wow, why did I do that? Right? And they can see all the instances without waiting around. Yes?
Have you used this to scout opponents?
I have not done that because I have to stat the opponents. I've done pretty much just statting the opponents, but not actually synchronizing their video per se. But the interesting thing is that if you play in like a round-robin format against an opponent, you'll tend to have the videos of them on the other side anyway. And so what I'll look at is, for example, a dig error. And the dig error will highlight the person on the other side hitting the ball. Right? So we can actually see patterns that way. Because, for example, if we look at all the dig errors in rotation 4, it's going to be the same hitter on the other side, right? So you can get lots of clips of that person, taking their actions.
Well, I guess my question is more along the lines of, we don't get videos of opponents on YouTube, so would if I have to upload an opponent's video or download an opponent's video,
right,
do I then have to put it on YouTube
yep.
to use this product?
Yes. What we're doing is our product talks to YouTube, and YouTube is, in the window that you see here, right, that's a YouTube embedded window. But it's not at YouTube, it's actually on our site.
Right.
So we have this communication channel. If the other server hosting services had these APIs, these are protocols that you can talk through, then we could create that, but they mostly don't because they're not open systems. And YouTube has a huge library of things that they provide for independent developers like us. So we just take advantage of the technology that's available. I also have to explain, I've worked in Silicon Valley for 30 years, so we have a motto, and it's like, never write a line of code you can't borrow. So that's basically what we do. Because we don't get paid for storage. We get paid for insights to you. Yes?
So to get to this part right here, you just go to your program that says sell as dash video.
Yeah.
Open that up.
Yep.
Then you paste the URL.
That's
right
correct.
there,
Right.
and that's what comes up.
Yes.
So the bottom part before you sync,
Huh?
before you sync, you still had.
Yeah, the open bubbles.
That's the point log that came from.
That's correct. Exactly. That's the point. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yes.
So if I wanted to go on and watch your team, I couldn't do that?
Nope. You don't have a password.
Good. So there's a password in your site.
Yep.
We don't even put it on YouTube?
Can't get to it. Unless you have my URL, you can't get to it. If you get to if you get to the URL at YouTube, all you'll see is the entire match. You won't see a clip like this because all these controls are in my site. All the data there, right, is protected with a password, so you can't get to that data. Yeah. It's all private. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
How do you sync other steps when you turn on the camera
Uh-huh.
on the other side, so you lose some time there, and it won't be the same time?
No. When you go to the other side, right, you'll get the camera. Well, let's put it. Let's say you're late setting up the camera. Okay? So you're like 4 points into it. What'll happen then is you'll go 4 points down in the stat stack here, right? You see what the points are here? Right, so you'll go down to 4 by 2, and that's the first thing you'll see on video. You start from there and synchronize. You'll miss the beginning part, but you'll have the rest. Yeah. Yes.
A lot of times, the people who will be inputting these stats will miss things. And, does that create a problem with your sync? If, like some of the products that are out there are expecting certain types of inputs, in order to keep track of rotations and stuff like that. What kind of issues is that?
Yeah, if you miss stats, there's a couple things you can do. Within the product, you can adjust both the score and the rotation and who's serving and who's receiving. So you want to make sure you make those adjustments. It will happen. It does happen, right? But as far as from a synchronization standpoint, it doesn't care because you can actually put in a midpoint sync and fix it from that point. I mean, I tell people that middle part where that was a delay because you were busy arguing with the ref. Then you get back, oh shoot, I forgot to put that in, right? So that was like 10 seconds late or something, right? So you can go to that point and make an adjustment, and then everything else will line again. So again, you can synchronize every single point manually if you want to, but our whole deal is trying to keep it automated.
Right.
Yeah. Other questions? Good questions. Okay. Let me finish up the last part of this. Okay, so I think we've gone through most of this stuff. Let's see, what is our time here? No, what time do we finish? 1:40?
1:45.
Okay, thank you. All right, so some of the sections, again, that aren't covered in this sort of quick run-through is goal setting and benchmark targets, player and system selection, evaluating team performance, tuning your team, and key tactics and methods. There's a couple of promotional offers here. One is we have a show special running that if you buy either the SolStats Pro Web Reports bundle for $39, we'll actually throw in this $150 WinNow training, or you can also add the video piece for $99, but that's a show deal, okay? So you gotta let me know that you want this, otherwise next week you just have to buy it, at kind of full price. We also have club pricing, 50% off if you buy if you outfit for 5 teams or more. Okay, so it's 50% off. We cover, we do what we call a season pass between now and the end of July. And then for that package, the club director gets a full set of products for free if you create a link from your club site to my site. Okay, that's an exchange that we do. Okay, so those are some offers to think about. I'm actually going to do one other thing. How many of you, yes, go ahead.
Is that an annual cost?
Yes,
Okay.
annual. Yeah, and we've been out for a little while with our staff package, and this year is dramatically different. I mean, I've got a bunch of clubs with 12 to 15 licenses each now, because people are standardizing. And one of the things that we haven't done yet that we really want to get done this season is having a master control